is not trying to influence children. They're trying to save children's lives.
Holy shit. Okay. Right now, there's a lot of white noise going on with this America.
So I want to break that down because it's a scary concept. If people were actually chemically...
If there's a gay agenda, why the fuck would they even give a shit about anybody unless they were to have some ulterior motive of getting some monetary gain?
There are 0.01% of young Americans that are receiving non-reversible gender-affirming care, and in 90% of those cases, that was life-saving care. That is life-saving care. Tragedies happen.
No. Let's talk about society as a whole. Okay,
do more people regret their gender?
Let's get real with it, bitches. Let's get real with it. Anybody out here, I don't give a fuck what Larry, Moe, and Curly are doing. I give a fuck about what's going on with my life and when it affects my life. So this shit is serious. Listen.
Donald Trump and Elon Musk are doing more grooming, right?
Yes.
Than LGBT activists.
100%.
Okay.
Do you want to hear more about why?
It's very important.
Okay, amazing. So Donald Trump's rhetoric has specifically been linked to bullying cases in elementary, middle, and high school. What we see are also that Donald Trump and Elon Musk are working in tandem to access young people through their phone screens. Donald Trump and Elon Musk worked to reduce Twitter protections, and we saw the firing of staff that worked to specifically set children's guidelines. We now see about 1/4 of young people that are online are on Twitter, and they're accessing media because also the algorithm has been changed to make sure that Elon Musk content and far-right content are boosted by about 1,000%, and that's been measured by a variety of studies. And so our young Americans, while they're on their phones without parental supervision, are absorbing rhetoric that psychologists have measured to be damaging not only to their minds, but to their peers' minds. So we've specifically seen hundreds of cases in over 20 states that bullying has increased as a result of Donald Trump and Elon Musk's rhetoric. There was an incident, and it was heartbreaking, where one student was bullied so severely that they attempted suicide because they kept being told, Donald Trump says you need to leave. Donald Trump says you are illegal. And it is a heartbreaking, devastating truth because these young
he's standing up for Mexicans. He's standing up for Mexicans. It has nothing to do with gay people. It has everything to do with human civil rights.
That's why they're banning books. That's why they're trying to restrict information that our children have access to.
And it's important. Because if you don't stand up for everything, you fall for everything. You have to stand up for everything and everyone, including this black guy, including this white guy, including whoever. Gay, straight, whatever. If you don't stand up for all that shit, then you stand up for fucking nothing.
Sharing hate speech that we see manifest in elementary school classrooms. 90% of teachers surveyed after Donald Trump's first election stated that school climate worsened specifically due to Trump rhetoric and bullying that was directly linked to Donald Trump's name and catchphrases. It's not a coincidence, it's not a parallel, and it's not something that's ever happened before.
Okay. I understand what you're saying. For the sake of the argument, I would say that I agree to an extent, right? Obviously, it depends on what's grooming, right?
Well, let's define grooming.
Yeah. So
what would you define grooming as?
So typically in, most political circles, right, they would say grooming is any kind of act that kind of leads to like a sexual act.
That's sexual grooming.
Yeah,
grooming also works with terrorist organizations and cults.
Yes.
I would say that grooming has a broad definition.
But I would say that grooming is not intrinsic or exclusive to the political right. Right? Grooming is.
Let's not mince words. Let's not mince words. Come on, motherfucker.
Some people whose favorite color is yellow do it too.
Being a racist. If this black guy if he realized what he's saying, he's mincing words. He's doing the very thing that he didn't want to get prosecuted for. And this is not a thing against black people. This is a thing against people who are not smart. If you're a conservative person without and think that gay people have an agenda, then go fuck yourself. Go fuck all yourself.
We're not organized. I promise we're just organized.
Okay. Well, for the sake of argument, let's just say every group has some kind of focus and things they're trying to accomplish, right?
Yes.
That's not exclusive to one party.
Sure.
But the reason I think what you're trying to say is that LGBT groups aren't the issue. Gun violence, stuff like that is the issue.
Exactly.
Yes.
But the reason why I kind of reject that premise is because
when
it comes to a lot of these medical conversations we have, there is actually no medical consensus.
What the fuck does that mean?
There is a medical consensus.
It's
How
not.
many doctors
If you
are in the AMA?
If you have doctors who disagree, that by definition means there's no medical consensus. Also, when you have
middle consensus.
Have you heard about there was a $10 million
middle ground
funded study led by, I believe her name was Dr. Johanna.
Yes.
And she
put your hand down.
found
Motherfucker.
that there were not
Just kidding.
but there weren't as much mental health benefits.
I know what you're referencing, and that's been debunked and disproven. The box is going to pop up here.
Okay, sure, but the thing is, when you have conversation, we have doctors in various groups who don't. There is no such thing as consensus when it comes to science. Like if you have people.
Well, no shit. But that's neither here nor there.
But the issue,
I don't like French
but the
fries.
issue,
Suddenly
but the
French fries
issue
aren't
that
popular.
the issue that conservatives have is the gaslighting. When you say things like "it's not happening," it's not happening.
It's not gaslighting when it's the truth.
And you can't have
The way that
conversations
you're
with
describing,
people.
let me clarify this, because when I say it's not happening at all, I mean the way that you describe it. Because it's important for people listening and watching not to think that the care that you're describing
The stigma.
Because, and let's break it down, the care that has been described throughout this episode as chemical castration, as these attacks on young Americans, are not happening at all. Am I saying that any young American has ever regretted receiving gender-affirming care? They have. It's heartbreaking, and I want our medical professionals to continue to learn more and do better.
Okay,
But to say what they're
no, but
doing
the thing-
is happening
hold
is a
on, hold on,
lie,
hold
and I
on,
won't excuse a
hold on,
lie.
Because the issue is that when you have other medical groups, I think you referenced
The more we all talk, the more none of this makes sense. But I just wanted to post this today because you know what? Let's start the conversation. Let's have a seat at the table. Call me up. Call Andrew up. Because I'm ready to talk about it. I'm ready to do it front and center and be responsible for all the shit that comes out of my mouth as well as y'all as well.
I appreciate you. You have a good vibe.
He does have a good vibe.
Love your shirt.
All right.
Okay, so you're saying that